Then I actually thought I need to plan the next 30 years.
Okay.
The first 30 years was just, oh hey, Anava, as they say.
It's interesting because you talk about fulfillment. You're 50 years old, 51.
51 now,
51.
But really I'm technically 50 because 2020 didn't count.
It doesn't count, okay.
So I'm still 50.
But I remember, actually this is kind of almost before COVID really hit. You're not one for massive celebrations normally, but you took your time and celebrated your 50th birthday. Tell me about that. Why did you do that?
I knew COVID was coming and they won't have another party. So it was a massive party. It was something that came to me and I wanted to do this a year before. I'm usually last minute Charlie.
Yeah, I can remember you gave us a date literally like a year before.
Literally a year before. I booked the hotel like it was a wedding. I booked it a year before. It was this. I grew up in India. I grew up in England. Several of my friends from 2 schools came down. It was my chance of giving back to them. I had made these friends, they'd been with me, they'd walked with me during difficult times. I was a foreigner in their country. Especially in India, I hated every moment. I wanted to be home. And we were at that time in the early 70s, we were the only Sri Lankans. We were Ceylonese. You remember, the country was Ceylon. We were Ceylonese in an Indian atmosphere. And these were friends who made my life bearable and made my life enjoyable in many ways. And I really wanted to do this to gather them together. In fact, many of them reconnected simply because they came to my birthday. And now they're
so they flew down. They flew down.
They flew down from different parts of the world, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
They came down from different parts of the world. I gave them adequate notice. It was a grand occasion, as I myself say. I limited it to 500 people. What can I do? I can't have everyone. But for me, it was a means of saying thank you to so many people. It wasn't, I grew up without parties and I wasn't looking forward to a party. It was a way of saying thank you to everyone. The foreign guests, we went off to Gaul for 2 days, 3 days. We did a lot of stuff there, went on this catamaran on the sea, sunset cruise in Gaul. Fantastic time. Probably the time of their lifetime. And I say that not boastfully, that was my intention.
Sure.
That was my intention and it was wonderful.
Did
Gratitude is also essential and this was my way of showing gratitude to them.
Did you see that as the end of a season and start of a new one? Would you put it like that? Or was it
simply yes, not the party, but the fact that I was 50. I actually had certain milestones which I have not achieved at 50, being a bit of a postponer, procrastinator.
But what kind of things did you...
So I wanted to write my biography and launch it at the birthday party, but I have failed to do that. And,
are you planning to do that?
Very much so. I in fact engaged with some writers and all of that well in advance, but then other issues came in the way. There was too much of work and all of that, so that has taken a bit of a backseat, but that is something I would like to do very soon. And then I actually thought I need to plan the next 30 years.
Okay.
The first 30 years was just, oh hey, Anava, as they say.
And I won't take that lightly because your father started at 60, started Jamshedpur at
64.
And he's 91?
91.
Right, so
he was managing director until 75.
Yeah, so I can imagine the next 30 years, I get that. What does the next 30 years look like?
I don't know, I'm still figuring it out. So I'm now trying to relaunch Ramesh Schaffter into the world at large. So Ramesh Schaffter, the corporate personality, some would call me. Ramesh Schaffter, the public speaker, etc., because you might have heard I do some of that. Ramesh Schaffter, the motivational speaker, perhaps. So I'm in the process of, and I don't want to reveal all that now, but in the process of launching a social media presence and such things that will help the next generation. Inspire them to think differently, act differently and achieve differently. I think that's something I can give back. Try to make them view life differently. There's Ramesh Schaffter, the spiritual person who, did I tell you I also founded along with my wife and run a TV station?
Mm-hmm.
There's that aspect of it, there's stuff that happens there and
Yeah.
that has been ongoing for more than 10 years. How do I run it? Again, I have good people, I delegate, I don't interfere. So I'm trying to set some objectives in each of these levels. Even as far as the company is concerned, I'm just going through strategic planning in this month and next month for the 1st April year, beginning of the year. That will be an unveiling of a new path for the company.
Sure.
Very excited about it.
Sure.
Because that is what I do.
Sure.
Think.
If you die tomorrow, and I hope you don't, what would you feel you have given your best to?